Hey everyone, welcome back to Vision Trim. It's Dan. I haven't posted anything for quite some time, but I'm wanting to get back into it. For those of you that don't know, I also do another YouTube channel with Phil. It's Aussie Garage TV. So we just go around and interview people about their cars and that sort of thing. So that's what that channel's all about. And today I have to do a steering wheel for Phil. So on today's video we're going to go through the process of recovering the steering wheel, and then if you'd like to see Phil's reaction to when I hand the steering wheel over, jump over to Aussie Garage TV and you can see Phil's reaction over there, and our attempts to get the old steering wheel off to get the new one on. So let's just get stuck into today's video for now, and yeah, let's get to it. Alright, welcome back to Vision Trim Shop everybody, or Aussie Garage, because this will be a collaborations video. So I've just finished that one. So while I'm in steering wheel mode, I am going to get into this one. So this is a brand new steering wheel the customer's given me. It's actually Phil. Phil is the customer on this one. And Phil needs this a little bit fatter. It's a bit too thin for him, and he gets quite sore fingers and joints and that sort of thing holding on to such a thin wheel. So we're going to put a little bit of foam on it, thicken it up a little bit, then we're going to do a black leather cover for it, and hopefully that will suit his purposes in the old XC van. So that's today's mission. I'm going to have a crack at that. So, alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get a little bit of foam on. This is the foam we're going to use here. It's only quite thin, but when that wraps around twice, so 3mm foam is going to add about 6mm all up. So, and then when the leather pulls tight, that'll probably shrink it in a little bit, but it'll just give it a nice firmer thing. So throw a little time lapse on and see if we can get that side done. Alright, so there we have the foam job done. That feels heaps better now to hold on to. Alright, so now all I've got to do, I'm going to cut a little groove there for the seam. So I'm going to cut a bit of foam away from this around here, so I'll have my leather seam there. I don't want it to bulge up like this, so I'll cut the foam away from underneath it and let the seam sit nice and flat down in there. And then I can move on to making the actual cover, the leather cover. This one's fairly straightforward, being just a simple 3-spoke steering wheel. There's no bits coming in these areas here. So this should be fairly straightforward. I might put some little cuffs on it as well, but I'll see how I go when I get there. But anyway, so we'll just move on with it for the moment. Alright, so I've got a piece of leather out. This is really nice stuff, this is. Beautiful leather. Quite a smooth grain. There's no real deep grain in it, nice and smooth, so it's beautiful for steering wheels and things like that. Alright, so next thing I'll do is I've got to cut a strip of leather to go around the steering wheel, and I'm mucking around now just to get the right length and that sort of thing. So let's just get that sorted out. I'll cut my leather strip here, so that's going to be the main part that goes around the wheel, like so. So next step is to stitch these two ends together. Then I need to carve a little piece out of there for the seam to fit inside of. I'm going to sew that. There we go, all sewn together. Alright, let's see if we can just fit this on here. Right, so I've got this all stitched up now. I'll run a stitch around each edge, and that's what I'm going to be using to loop my thread through and stitch when we get onto the steering wheel. So I gave Phil kind of a choice of different ones. There was that one there, that one there. So that required, if it was a wheel was sewn with the beige thread, you can see I haven't done that. So the wheel's sewn with the black thread, but he didn't like that one, or the big cross. He sort of liked the smaller cross one better. So these are a bit rough just because to show him what it looked like. So next thing is to put this on the wheel, start to glue it into place, and get, put a few ties around it just so that it's all pinned into place, ready to stitch, and then we know exactly where we're going. And then it's just a matter of, as you saw with the last one, just sitting down and stitching it, which is the time consuming part, but yep, that's the bit that makes it look awesome. So let's see if we can get that all on in the next couple of hours. Okay, so you can see I've put some little ties in all the way around periodically, just to make sure everything's straightened up and it's all where I want it to be. So now I know that I've counted my stitches as I've been going around, so I know that all my stitches are all going to line up and that sort of thing, which is quite important with the crisscross pattern. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's going to turn out really nice, because you'll see everything with this colour thread. So anyway, so nothing left to do now but to get into the actual hand stitching, and around we'll go. I'll be gluing it as I go around so that it doesn't later on want to try and spin around on the wheel or anything like that. So that's the next step, so we'll jump into that, and yeah. So we've started stitching, and it's looking good so far. It is nice, and it's pretty soft, this one, so hopefully it'll be alright, but because it's filled I'll be able to keep track of it and see how this one goes. I think it's going to be perfectly fine. It feels really good actually. Alright, so I'm not going to bore you with all of the stitching all the way around. I did realise that my camera, the GoPro, wasn't quite lined up properly, so I'll leave it on for a little bit longer and finish this bit of stitching up to here, and then I'm just going to turn the cameras off and stitch all the way around, and I'll pick you up on the next bit. So there's that section all finished. So I've gone between here and here. I've tied off at both ends, and I'll start again here and then go all the way, go to this section here, tie off again, and then I'll do the top section, tie off again, and by then we'll be all the way around, and I can just put my little collars on. These just 3 little collars I'll put on it, and that'll hide any mess, although it's looking fairly neat anyway. But yeah, so anyway, like I said, I'm not going to bother filming the rest of me stitching that because it's pretty boring stuff, and you can see just from the bit that I've done how it sort of happens. So I'm just going to go ahead, turn the cameras off, have another cool bevy and get stuck into it. Alright, so I will see what should take only a few moments for you, but maybe an hour or 2 for me, a couple of hours at least. So we'll see you then. Right, so it's the following morning and I'm done. I didn't stay up all night and do this, but I was up late last night just stitching, that's why I didn't do any more filming. But I got all the way around and I put my little cuffs on. By then it was quite late and I really needed to go to bed, so that's all I did. So Phil, there you go mate, she's all finished, all ready for you. Hopefully you get lots of good miles on that steering wheel, mate. You know, Will, this leather is beautiful, so nice to touch, so soft. Alright, so I'll give that to Phil later this week, get a little reaction out of him, but other than that, we are done with this one.